Welcome to Dirt Secrets, where we dig deep into the stories, strategy, and surprises of building and buying in Central Florida's hottest neighborhoods.
We're Kim and Amanda from Builders Concierge Group, your insiders in the builder world.
From helping builders create custom urban infill projects, even when that means knocking down an old home, to guiding buyers and relocation clients through every step.
We know the dirt, the deals, and the details that turn big dreams into beautiful addresses.
So grab your hard hat
And your coffee.
Let's dig in.
Welcome to another episode of Dirt Secrets. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Kim.
Today, we're going to be talking with Chris Atwell. He is the current president of ORRA, the Orlando Regional REALTor Association. A little tongue-tied there. We're going to learn a little bit more information about what their initiatives and what they're doing today. Specifically, I want to talk a little bit about the new ORRA building. He did give us a tour, and it was absolutely beautiful. So we're going to talk about a few different things. But for now, I would like you to meet Chris Atwell with ORRA.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome, Chris.
What's up? Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad that you found some time. You've been incredibly busy.
Yeah, it's been a little bit wide open.
Yeah.
But it's all good. It's good. It's the market is warming up.
Right.
And so is the great outdoors. And so we're having a great time. You know, you mentioned the building. That's one of the things that is so fascinating to me. And, you know, you guys see it because you are doing dirt to construction, right?
Right.
From ground up. The things you don't think about in a building of the size, cooling, the ORRA building has been like a wild algebra problem. Trying to figure out exactly when to turn it on, when to turn the AC on, how much in each little room. It's so fascinating to me, the things that come up that you would never think about until you got into it. And now here we go.
Well, we talk about that a lot for what we do. It's even more so in commercial than it is in residential. But there's a lot of moving parts and pieces. What do you mean I have to pick the hinges on?
Right. Yeah.
I different choices.
How many? Oh, I never knew there were so many options. And suddenly you care.
Yeah, suddenly you care. Yeah.
It's just money. We got to know these facts. Well, I want to talk a little bit about what you're seeing, because you mentioned, yes, outside is warming up, but so is the market.
Yeah.
So how do you see the market here in Central Florida right now?
Yeah, I still see it as pretty balanced on the whole.
Yeah.
I think, and I've been having this conversation like frequently lately. Consumer perception of what the market is and the actual market, I think, are coming closer together as the year goes on, which is a good thing. Consumers are realizing that just because it's not a crazy seller's market also doesn't mean that it's a crazy buyer's market.
Correct. That's correct.
Which is a good thing. And you also have consumers who I think a broader base of consumers are becoming more comfortable with the fact that they're not going to get a 3% mortgage for a while. And I think they've come to terms with that. They've gone through the stages of grief of losing our 2.5% and 3% rate.
For them to quit mentioning it every time they go to wild wait doing. Well, that would be nice. I would love that.
I don't foresee that happening in our lifetimes ever again, to be honest with you. But I don't want to see it at 16, 18, even 12%. So we got to learn to understand that 6, 7, 8% is still historically low. You get in the 5s, you win.
Totally. And I think the other side is true as well. Like you think you zoom out and think about just very basic banking principle.
Yeah.
If the bank is offering you money at 6.5%, that means when you go put your deposit in, how much can they really pay you in interest if they're only getting 6%? Their spread, and believe me, I'm not an advocate of big banking. Like they make plenty of money, but at the same time, it affects other areas of the market as well.
100%. Well, they hear where Fed's cut rates, and this is where it's at.
Yeah.
Why did my mortgage rate move? That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the rate the bank gets, just so you know.
That's right.
That's your rate.
That's right. And only for a very small period of time.
Yeah, exactly. And it changes, and sometimes the rate's cut, but there's other things they have to play catch up from things in difference, and it actually can bump up a little bit. So why did it go up? Well, there's a lot more to the rate than just the rate. And I think that's the balance of our market. Our market, every market's hyperlocal, right? Here in Central Florida, they hear a lot of the national news. And it's very different from state to state, even submarket to submarket here in Central Florida and wider version of Florida. So it's very, very different. So yeah, I think it's more balanced, but we are seeing crazy offers. We're just like, Where are you getting that from?
Yeah.
Why do you think that that's going to happen?
Yeah.
So
because the
builders are
internet.
not suffering. Yeah.
That's the answer.
The
Because
fake
the
news.
internet.
AI lies to you. I think we talked about that in the last episode. It physically lies to you.
And LLMs
Pay
will
attention.
deceive you, no doubt.
Yeah.
So do you feel like there's more opportunities though for buyers than there have been in a while? I mean, our inventory's been pretty steady. I don't know that there's a whole lot more available.
Yeah, I think there's certainly opportunities. And you know what I see, you guys probably see it as well. The new construction market all around kind of the outskirts of Central Florida, of builders of any size, from smaller builders to large, Wall Street builders and everything in between. The new construction market seems to, painting a broad swath, to be offering some of the best values around.
They really are,
at least right now.
I think it's filling those gaps too. That where we were short of housing, and the builders they've got their job is to move houses. It's not to hold on to them.
Correct.
And so I really think that they have come up with some programs and incentives that have made people go, maybe new construction is my best option.
Yeah.
And the shift has definitely occurred. In a normal market, in the Orlando submarket, new construction's about 15 to 20% of the product. Notice it's sliding towards 30 because I think, like you said, those builders are providing a product that wasn't available, that they didn't have any incentive to build, a few years ago.
Totally. And going back to, for a builder, it's a business decision. For a seller that's an owner-occupied property, it's a very emotional decision. So while the builder understands that time is money, seller consumers don't, just on an individual basis, don't always understand that in the same way. And so I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing that that increase in builder activity is because sellers are still kind of emotionally tied to the 21, 22
they are
price peaks.
That's why we do so much new construction.
Well, it answers the problem with insurance too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, new construction, a brand new home meets all the current codes and sometimes exceeds, depends on, how it's built. But that changes the way that the insurance companies look at their liabilities. So it really, my house at 1959 and the same square footage, brand new, my insurance would be an eighth of what it is. It does really make a big difference and helps with that. So new construction is helping us get our way out of an inventory, the low inventory we have, but we're not there. Do you think that we're at a balanced kind of inventory now? I still feel like we're at a shortage.
Well, I mean, nationally, we're at a shortage, right? We need housing units.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, what was the act that just passed? How it was titled? The Road to Housing Bill.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Road to Housing Bill that just passed, it really addressed in a pretty strong way accessory dwelling units.
Yes.
I know. So that's at the federal level, and I know at the state and even the local level, that's something that Florida Realtors, as well as the Orlando Regional REALTOR Association, is engaging in to figure out what are the places, the margins, the gaps that we can fill ADUs. And so to answer your question, we need units.
Yeah,
so
we do.
No, inventory is not ideal, but it's a lot better than it was this time 3 years ago.
Right. But it goes to the balance conversation of the market where buyers think they're now like, we're going to steal it. It's been on the market. New construction looks very different. MLS is not set up, no matter how many times I beg them to find their path to it. They are not set up to say this home has been on market, but it only completed 2 weeks ago. So they see 180 days and they want to come in and lowball it. Like the house just finished. That was under construction. So there's no metric for that, if you will. But the way that the market is conditioned to understand days on market relate to new construction.
It becomes a bit of a scarlet letter, doesn't it? But I'm not even sure that it really should be, because sometimes, as you know, no matter how many different conversations you have with consumers, it takes every consumer a different amount of time to come around.
Correct.
And so while a house or a property may have been on market for 180 days, the consumer may have just come around to the listing price point that the market would accept within the last 2 weeks. So really, how long is it reasonably
has it
market?
Which is why it's detrimental to overpriced
active and viable.
Which, and maybe, the three of us could just arbitrate that. Like, it could be our new thing. We just arbitrate what is reasonable days.
What is just
based on other factors.
Well, you were interesting. You were talking about sellers, and some of them were still living 3 years ago. I feel that they're getting more realistic.
Yeah.
The last few listing appointments I've taken, I haven't once been pulled. I haven't had a Zillow's estimate pulled on me in like a year and a half.
I understand.
Yeah, they're finally understanding, and they're truly looking at my numbers. And before they say, "Well, I want to list it at," usually that was the first sentence of the conversation. They had already decided what their price was, and now they're actually like examining the data. They're looking at the marketing. They're really they're paying attention. And when I see them paying attention, I'm like, we're going to have a successful sale because you're listening already.
And being realistic. What's that commercial? I forget what it's for. It might be insurance or something. But literally the mechanic comes in and just wipes his hands on his dirty rag. He's like, all right, heart surgery, let's go. Like, I got a call. We got to go. That kind of thing. It's like if you're hiring a real estate professional, we distinguished between differences of that on the last episode. When you hire a real estate professional, you've got to trust. You need to understand that. Look at the facts, know the market, do it the right way the first time. I mean, the worst part I hear is, well, I'm not in a hurry. Then why are you listing your house? If you're not in a hurry, we don't need to do this. This is a waste of everybody. I've got time. And
do we all?
You don't need a bunch of people in your house. Constantly. Like, you need to make a decision. It's time or it's not time. That's their decision. But buying a listing and offering to list it too high for realtors out there as well. Don't waste your time and just do the business the right way. Be a professional and own it.
The other side of that, though, and I think this is something that we would all be well served to communicate more frequently to the customers, is don't call us the day that you think you're ready to list. Call your realtor to set up a strategy,
right?
So that you can have a conversation.
Time it with the market correctly. There's certain times of year that definitely, especially resale, is very seasonal. And there are times of the year that people are way more motivated to go out and look at a house. It's like, don't list it in November if you can avoid that. If you don't have to move, it's like, let's wait till after the first of the year when people have new homes on their, they're thinking about spring. They're thinking about school being out. They're thinking about the reasons that make people move.
Yeah.
But where do you think the sellers, and what would you tell any seller right now before they list it? Like you said, get a strategy together. If they're strategizing with the realtor, what would be the most important thing you'd tell them?
I think you've got to have reasonable expectations, and you've got to really decide, okay, at the end of this, what do you want? What are you trying to achieve? And work backwards from there and set the steps that logically make sense work the end from the begining. So that way, when you go through the process, not that there won't be surprises, because there will.
There's always bumps in the road. Humans are.
But you have a managed expectation.
Yeah.
You know what to expect when you finish. The other thing is, what I would tell consumers generally is don't start or don't go crazy about what you think needs to be done to your house.
Don't try to guess
what you believe. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. Don't start working on your house and taking out walls and doing all kinds of home
crazy stuff,
which is really just destruction.
Right.
Without talking to a realtor or two or three and seeking advice about what your market is going to demand and what your ROI will be. Right. Great. You put $100,000 into your bedroom that nobody cares about. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
totally.
And I would say perfect preparation. Yeah. Even if you're not going to do a single improvement, it needs to be sparkly clean. It needs to look great from there.
To all those fun pictures we
we would love those good pictures. But
realtor.
Wow. Perfect preparation. It's like, I always tell people, I'm like, before you would get married, would you have like a whole glam squad, to take care of you? Before you it's like you've got to think about this is her first date. This is her prettiest day. She needs to look like a bride. And people will go like, they really think about that way. They're thinking about is like, do I need to patch those holes in the wall? It's like, yes, you do, but you need to also paint it and clean it and put new light bulbs in. And it's just what those things are inexpensive, critical.
Totally.
It's like amazing to walk in and you're going, God, for just a few new light bulbs and a coat of white paint, this thing would be sold,
Right.
We have a full team. We'll come in and recommend things. And it's going to cost you this. And this is what we're going to list and sell.
Yeah.
Those are two different things. Your list and your sales. Those are two different conversations.
Wishing and getting, as we call it.
So when we talk about this and you put that in, but then if you don't, put that in to the you're going to only make this. So spending a little more makes you double,
Right.
sometimes more than that. That's always our goal, is to double the amount that you put into it. We've done it ourselves. We've put money into homes ourselves and taken it off the profit at the end, just because we know that was what's best for
Needed to be done.
the cash up front. So there's always a way to look at things to get the job done, but it's a first impressions, right?
Yeah.
Never get another chance for a first impression.
And to your point, it's making those improvements, Kim, to the house and to the property so that it's in its most optimized condition. However, it is not driving yourself completely mad,
Right.
No.
putting dishes away every day or whatever the case may be.
Right.
You know, a lived-in house that's well kept for, bright and appearance, like, is still going to sell. I had this conversation with a friend recently who's trying to sell their home in a different state. Is very frustrated because it seems like they keep getting showings. But I was hearing them share about how they're prepping the house every other day. They've got grandkids, they've got all kinds of things. I'm like, look, nobody's not buying your house because you left a dish out, or because your bed isn't perfect.
Exactly.
And these are perfectionist people. Like, I know you. The right buyer will come along. You're in a gated community. There's other factors here. Don't be of good cheer.
Yes,
don't
Keep
lose courage. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Pictures are your first 15 or so.
Right.
They're going to look at you online. They're going to increase it. So you want to minimize those family pictures. They're looking at everything. It's like, oh, I have that picture. Oh, look, I've got those dishes. They're really digging in. So when we do pictures, we take everything. It looks like a right. We'll even go in and we'll take a picture of what it looked like before. We leave everything in a box, then go back and put everything back the way the picture shows after the pictures are done. But when you're living in the home and you're showing it, to your point, you can live in the home. That's not how we're going to show your home initially with video and pictures.
Correct. Yeah.
But I think the overwhelming theme is that, like you said, get a strategy. Get your agent in there early. And so, because it's so funny, because when you go visit someone, they're like, so when can you have it on the market? And I'm like, it's going to be a couple of weeks. And they're always like, oh, because I called you because I'm ready. Right.
Yeah.
And, I think that's where everybody has to, be a little patient. It's like you will get the best results if you're patient. And once again, it's like, listen to your real estate professional.
Totally.
It's like, that's what we do this every day. You've done this once or twice. I've done this over 3,000 times. So
slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
You know what I'm doing. Gotcha.
Back to ORRA's mission and goals. And I think that a lot of us, we always grumble a little bit when paired dues. We're like, man, MLS stupid.
Yeah.
I think that many of us, if not most of us, do not take advantage of all of the wonderful tools and assets that are at our disposal, whether you're a brand new agent, whether you're a 30-year plus agent. I'm constantly finding new little things. I'm like, oh, I didn't know we had.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we could go yoga.
Yeah, so
there's all kinds of things that
come have a workout.
Yeah.
Come get you a slushy.
But it's all these
after the work.
It's also all these great tools to help you build your business. And instead of running around and chasing at the newest thing you saw on Instagram and paying some lady in a totally different market $59 for her open house kit, it's like, go to your local resource.
Yeah.
Get your money's worth out of your dues. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I paid for a couple of really expensive credit cards. I did that for several years.
Yeah.
And then I realized, I'm like, well, I didn't know I had that.
Yeah.
And so last year,
My Uber credit.
I started intentionally maximizing those things. I'm like, I paid for it in the first 3 months of the year.
Yeah.
And instead I was getting ready to cancel it because I'm like, I'm not getting any benefit from this. But it was my fault because I didn't seek out the benefit that was there.
That's right.
And I think that's a lot of that with our ORRA benefits, and we don't think about it. It's just something we feel like we have to do. And it's like, I think it's got to flip to where this is a valuable resource that you're underutilizing.
Well, and it goes back to, so I'll start broadly because I think it ties into all three associations at all three levels, state, national, and local. So at the national level, what do we know consumers like universally want? They want data. They make decisions with the influence, maybe not solely based on, but with the influence of data. Like marketing we've talked about this. I think this was one of our very first conversations that we ever had was around consumer data and the information that consumers want.
Right.
At the National Association, we have not a Chicago class, not a regional class. We have a world-class research team that provides all kinds of data and information based on what the National Association of Realtors has found that consumers want to know. And that's at your fingertips.
Right.
As any realtor member.
Right.
You come down to the state level, we have more state-specific data and information that's available. We have the forms, the Sable sign, the the legal hotline, which can get you in and out and around pickles or direct.
I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Right. And then you come down to the local level closer to home, and we have our building, of course, which has many different facilities that we mentioned. We have now free education on a lot of bases, so you can come in and learn again from world-class instructors,
Right.
And get your education, whether it's for a purpose of earning a designation or just simply to improve your business life. And then you now have a place, as we have seen the change of where, you guys aren't, maybe are you going to the office every day?
No.
Yeah. And broadly, like with the different brands that have popped up, the great organizations, there's not a lot of realtors going to an office yet. There's still a need to have an office type environment, place. Well, the association provides that.
It does.
And
absolutely.
It provides that opportunity for you. So this is the way I look at it and I'm rounding up for $2,000 a year, for an investment of $2,000 a year, which is maybe 2 or 3 credit cards.
Right.
You have the opportunity to earn unlimited income. And that barrier to entry is so low.
Absolutely.
When you look at other businesses and the data that we provide inside of Stellar MLS, the things that you can do with the data that's inside of Stellar, which ORRA started, by the way. ORRA was the like founding member of Stellar MLS 5 names ago or something.
Yeah.
That is a huge benefit, not only to the member, but when used and leveraged appropriately, it's a major benefit to the consumer and to the general public, which is who we're all here to serve.
Right.
So I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little bit passionate about this stuff.
You are. Yeah. No, and it's good to hear. I think that there's been a lot of stasis. It's just like misconception into some stasis, and like, as long as we maintain the status quo, if you're already happy, make sure MLS is up and running, and we're good.
Yeah.
And I love that your approach is like, we want to give more back to the realtor community. Yeah. But you have to walk through the door.
Totally.
Nobody's going to knock on your door and say, "Hey, did you know we have all these fantastic things going on at ORRA?"
Yeah, we don't.
Is it going to walk through the door,
Yeah, we don't have 19,000 hooks.
No.
Come on in.
Door hanging. Come on in.
Yeah.
But I think that especially, because especially if you're a loan agent, I think you get a little isolated. Sometimes you have a bad deal, you get a little frustrated and discouraged. I think just utilizing that as a community is really important, because this can be a very high intensity contact business, and also it can be very isolating if you're out operating on a team or within a very, like you said, more of our business has gone online and internet brokerages and out of state. It gets more and more isolating, and it's like that's when your local board becomes an even bigger asset to you.
Totally. And the one part that I haven't mentioned yet that I think is kind of the banner benefit, like universally for any realtor in the country and for consumers nationally, is advocacy side. We're like rent control. When all that craziness here in Orange County came up about rent control, consumers would have been harmed because of that. The landlords and the people that even the investors
get out of the business
in the middle of a transaction, the realtors, the people in the middle of the transaction, all the parties in the middle of the transaction. But the Orlando Association, together with partnership with Florida Realtors, ultimately that measure was defeated because the court said, no, we don't. This is not what we do in Florida. We don't manipulate the market. We allow the free market economics to work for itself. Same thing with Hometown Heroes. Anybody that's closed, there's been close to, I think it may even be over a cumulative total of $500 million of money put into the Hometown Heroes down payment assistance program. Any realtor that's closed with that, or any consumer that's closed with that, that's a benefit that started with the realtors. That started here in Orlando with the state and local association saying we have to do something to number one, prevent or I don't know if you guys know the history, and I'll spare you the details, but the Sadowski funds were getting swept by the legislature every year. And the realtor community was really had a belly full of it. So he said, well, what's another way that we can get down payment assistance in the hands of those who really need it? And out of that came Hometown Heroes. And so any mortgage broker, title company, insurance company, as it's closed a deal that's had a new policy issued because of Hometown Heroes, has the Realtor Association to thank for.
If you don't know about the Hometown Heroes program, it is exactly what it said. It's to help the teachers, firefighters, anybody who serves the community, medical professionals. It's a tremendous program. We have helped several clients get in their very first home based on this program, and it really is. It's great down payment assistance. It does not have to be repaid right after you live the home a certain number of years.
It does eventually get repaid, because that's the whole thing. Is it was designed to be self-funding after a period of time.
Oh, I see.
So as long as you own and occupy the home, it's you don't have to repay it.
Correct.
However, once you sell that home, once you refinance,
you do.
The concept is that equity then gets folded in,
made the difference,
and it will go back to then fund
another home. That's great. A self-sustaining fund. I mean, how many government programs do we have that sustain themselves? That's kind of
well, it does run out. I mean, there's times when you're waiting.
Totally.
You're waiting.
Like anything else.
I think it got funded at $50 million this year, which it just opened up. I think last week.
July usually, so let's up it up.
And so, and the employment or profession requirements kind of change. Initially, it was open to everybody because there was a massive investment into like $150 million or something. And then those have changed over time. The part that I love about it is consistently throughout, it's been very friendly to veterans. So veterans are able to essentially get put on an express lane to getting Hometown Heroes assistance, which, I just have so much respect and admiration for anybody that serves or has served in our military, that I love that about them.
And a lot of people that serve, once their service is finished, they do go into what I call peripheral. They become firefighters or policemen or paramedics or something. So they go into kind of similar fields. Service. Their service.
So I think we've covered that. You're probably getting, if you use it, right, you're probably getting way more than $2,000 worth of ROI out of the association at all three levels. And the education alone. I mean, I look at professional education and some of these other industries that are allied or
thousands of dollars for like 2-day boot camps. I'm going, whoa, okay.
To tell you,
that's a trip. That's a trip to Europe.
You don't know what to do. Work database. Server. We just talked about this in the last episode as well. I do want to come and steer this conversation a little bit differently. Like the last episode that we just did with James Becker is talking about some referral programs. 72% of all realtors in the past 12 months have not sold a thing. So how do you maintain your membership when that's going on? And I know you are working on something similar as well. So I wanted to hear how to help the members of ORRA.
So ORRA, again, one of the things that we're doing at the association is providing education. And we're, I think probably by the end of next year, most, like a super majority, if not all the education that you get at ORRA will be free to our members, which is huge. Particularly for your 14 hours of CE, the designations and things like that. There, I think, will always be a cost associated with them.
But it's very little, like you said, compared to other designations and other industries and it's minimal.
So what we're trying to do is create an environment that we can foster realtors to continue to be successful or jumpstart their success. One of the things that the association is working on is a program whereby if somebody has to go inactive for whatever reason, they have an opportunity to still get education, refer and earn commission for referral, and still be involved in a referral only basis. So that provides them with a pathway to becoming a realtor again and re-engaging full time in the market. There was something that I was just going to tell you, and it went down with one of those cars out the window.
It's okay.
This happens. But so I think ORRA is largely committed, and this was a conversation that I was having earlier, was ORRA is largely committed to helping agents and realtors run a business and become business people. And that's the distinction between being self-employed and having and running a business. And we're really, really focused on helping not just the sales associates and the realtor associates, but the brokers alike improve how they run their business and being a resource for that. I think that's our mission statement, is we're the realtor's primary resource for success. And so we're really taking that seriously.
So you're implementing a lot of these things are some initiatives that you're implementing as president now. Is that correct?
Yes and no. It's being president of the association is a great honor. We're now a 105-year-old organization. Year-old organization. Wow, that's a mouthful. 105-year-old organization, and I'm at 33 when I took over as president. Now 34. I'm the youngest president in over a century to serve this association. But at the end of the day, it's not just me. I'm merely the tip of the spear. It's the staff at the association that show up every day, that are committed. And it's the board of directors and the executive committee that help as volunteers largely to do this work and to move the strategic vision of the association forward. Our pillars for our strategic plan has been add value, influence, and innovate. And that's what we've even renovated our budgeting process so that everything outside of operations and administration is Duke Energy and
we got to keep the lights on.
You're right. You got to keep the lights on. But outside of operation and administration, everything that we do is identified in one of those three buckets. Adding value to our members and to our community, innovating, positively influencing our communities. And that's what, right now, one of the ways we're doing that is we're in election season. We're going through the process. We talked earlier about advocacy. We've endorsed a number of candidates for public office that we've reviewed, not by left or right or up or down or north or south, east or west, but how are you on realtor and business issues? Things that affect private property rights, somebody's ability to get in to own a home. Are you one of these rent control people or not? To put it more broadly, do you support the business environment that is needed to have a housing market that's healthy? And we have, this is a shameless plug, by the way, we have Deidre Graybill, who will be our president next year, who's running for Orange County Commission. And so that's somebody that's come from our own fold, and has decided, you know what, because I really understand add value, influence, and innovate, I want to run the influence path and get a seat on the Orange County Commission. So
that's awesome.
Creating leaders, that's new. Creating community leaders is just as important.
Yeah, totally.
And influencing. Obviously for the positive of all of us in our industry. So CRM. I'm just going to step into that for a second. They always, we say this a lot. It doesn't matter which one you use.
As long as you use it.
Do you offer one with ORRA for use?
There are CRMs that are available both through Stellar MLS, which you won't really only get as a member of the association, as well as FR and NAR all have either free or heavily discounted CRMs. I know there's a specific CRM that I'm thinking of that I don't want to mention because I'm not sure how long it's going to be inside of the suite of services. So,
but there's something there.
Totally.
Talk about all these values and that being, we're leading into this conversation from the last episode and trying to continue this path because there's so many agents that aren't making any money. And it's like, how do we help? We look at it that way. You've got to use a CRM. So it's just asking, how do we stay as ORRA, do these things, utilize, pay that expensive credit card for all the points, but get it back. Get your value. Here's $800 for the card, but I just got $2,500 back. And
exactly.
That makes sense. It's the same conversation we're having here.
Yeah. And, I don't remember. I do know just recently, like within the last 3 weeks or so, NAR put out a statement. They did the research on how many agents have done at least one transaction, I think the last 12 or the last 18 months. I can't remember the time frame. But it was more than that, because the 80%, 72%, somewhere in there, that figure had come out within the last 6 months.
Yeah, it was time last fall. We're
And NAR recently put out a statement of what that exactly was. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it was well improved from that kind of 80%-ish figure that gets thrown around. Yeah.
That's important though. I mean, one transaction, like what Kim always says, that wouldn't pay my nail bill. So it does become, especially with the expense of that check, means nothing.
Right.
We're taking about 30% of it. The rest of it goes in various different ways to run your business and pay all the stuff.
And the approach that you all are taking, like we're going to teach you to be a business owner and run your business rather than being someone who chases a transaction employee. So I think that's just flipping that mindset. And, we've both been in the business a long time, and it's only a couple of years ago that mindset kind of flipped for us. We're going, this could be easier if we just utilize the tools that are out there. Yeah. It's like you keep doing the things you've always done without looking at the critical parts of the business and going, this is working, so we need to put more efforts here. This is not working. Do we put more efforts here or do we cut it?
Yeah.
And teaching people that to do that is it's life-changing. I mean, it just goes from where they have a real estate license to where they're making a living for their family.
Teach them to fish or feed them.
Right.
Yep. Same conversation.
So I think going back to your point, like one of the things that's going to happen as we look ahead in real estate is that a lot of this information and the data that's available and where it's available is just going to speed up and get more aggregated.
Yep.
Like LLMs, AI coming in is going to help enhance how realtors do business, how consumers find information,
right,
and even digest information that you provide to them, which I think is a big thing that is going to have to be discussed. Is, are you now packaging your information, your data, which we know consumers intrinsically want and love? Are you packaging it in such a way that when they go back to AI to digest it, AI is either going to verify it or help them digest it in a way that's helpful to you and to getting your consumer to the place where they need to be. So what I see is like a drastic speeding up of the more laborious things that
me too
over the last 15 years have taken a lot of time out of the realtor's hands. But one thing that I think, and I know AI can never replace, is like AI can't smell must. AI can't, tell you, look at carpet and tell you, oh, I think this place has been flooded. Like
or the good things. Look at the way the sunlight comes in the window in the kitchen, or look at that fantastic thing. Yeah. No, it's still a very personal business, and I do think the people that get too deep into the data and letting AI, do their listing paperwork and all that, they're going to lose touch with what the most important part of the business is, and that's the consumer. That's the buyer and the seller.
Totally.
It's emotional. It's personal. And no robot can really do that. But I think the robots, if we become their masters, I think we can definitely make it a more efficient process.
And to your point,
definitely helping.
Like the Amazon mentality of like, well, I'm just going to go online and buy a house. I think eventually that's going to burn enough consumers that they're going to come back and in a big way to be, to understand and value that personal relationship, and maybe even value it from a monetary perspective more than they ever have before.
I mean, look at how many people during the pandemic bought homes sight unseen, and they get here, they're disappointed. We're just closed on one that's a tear down rebuild. It was beautiful, but it was lipstick on a pig. And, the amount of money they were spending to try to fix the main core things in their home, then they had to go tent it out for termites. So like, at what point do we stop spending money? You've already hit it.
Yeah.
Paid for the house.
It was about 3 months ago.
They depended on their agent, and they depended on their inspector. And the agent happened to be the same one that did the rehab.
Oh, wow.
And so there was a bit of a conflict. So we sit there and look at that. So buying a house, Amazon style, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
You need to know who you're trusting to buy, we've had success. It's a way to buy brand new construction from us.
But that was during a very unusual time. That was during the pandemonium.
And it happens still. We just had somebody buy a house sight unseen. We just closed on one. New construction. Across from where you live. We had the two side by side. Anyway, it happens. But new construction's a lot easier to do that way.
You're right. They trusted, but they trusted their agent.
Wow.
Because they had worked with her multiple times. And that's the whole thing. She was fantastic. So I think that is the most important thing too, is this like developing that relationship. And I think that's what that ORRA and all of us who are advocating and mentoring other people teach them. It's like, be your authentic self and be service. If you give them the service,
be professional.
I'm always like amazed at, because a lot of the flat fee listings, and I'm not going to name any companies, but just the ones that do it, where you're basically doing it yourself. You're paying to get it into the MLS.
Right.
I'm always surprised at how quickly they drop that. It's like sometimes I'll see it 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, it took you only 3 weeks to get worn out with showing your own house and have to take the phone calls and negotiating deals. I have a friend, and she told me, she said, I'm going to go this route because I really need all the money I can get out of it.
And speaking of negotiating, like
she didn't sell it.
That's one of the things that I encourage consumers routinely. Like when you're interviewing a realtor, it's not just about how beautiful their marketing is. All right, tell me your experience with negotiating. Like, and what's your overlying philosophy on negotiation? That can tell you a lot more about a realtor than even any type of marketing or anything like that, because the negotiation is really where the deal gets done. And being
constant.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
and it's being strategic.
Yeah,
knowing when to ask for things and when not to. When where your ceiling and where your floor is, and working from there. But that's something I think a lot of consumers are impressed with. Video and all those things are great.
It's pretty. It's shiny.
Good reason for that. But when you're talking about the pedigree of the person, and some ways, like, this is sincerely one of the classes that I love is the real estate negotiating expert, the RENE. That designation in that class, I think, builds a foundation so that if you came out of IT and you never had to interact with humans or negotiate anything, but now you're in the real estate business, the RENE gives you the foundation to be able to build your negotiation skill.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a skill set.
It's a skill set that gets better and better with practice. No doubt about it.
Well, it's also part of being professional, having a relationship, being transparent, and never looking at something transactionally. You look at it as a business owner.
Yeah.
So building that, and that's a lot of what ORRA is helping with. How should realtors, in light of AI, everything going on, next 5 years, how do you think they should be looking to prepare?
Well, I would start using, like, if you're not at least attempting or you're not exercising that muscle of trying to develop an understanding, even if it's just at a broad level of what AI can do for you and how to leverage an LLM or even how to build your own small language model into your business and fold it in technology, like, you're already behind, but good news, there's still time to catch up.
Yes.
So I think leverage is the key.
Totally. Well, and that's the thing, that leverage is one of the things that we just, and I'm painting with a broad swath, but I don't know that the real estate industry and real estate professionals totally understand.
Right.
I think we have a lot of room to improve our understanding of leverage and even what we have at our fingertips, going back to our earlier conversation of what to leverage and when to leverage. But yeah, I think, again, you can't leverage AI if you don't know nothing about it, or if you're afraid of
fear. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's taken over our business, and I've never.
Which is tantamount to saying, no, I'm not getting on that online MLS. I want to go back to my MLS books. Like, let me go flip through the book. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just a different generation.
It's true.
We just had this conversation.
You innovate or you wither. Yeah.
These two episodes definitely each other. So when you're watching, make sure you're watching them.
And I think going back to the earlier discussion, like, invest in yourself. Go to an AI conference. It doesn't have to be for real estate. You'll find underlying principles that you can plug into with the same business.
Yeah.
We are not at this exact moment. However,
We're having a conversation.
there's vision there to provide that environment. But there's also, it's right now the AI space is so crowded.
Yeah.
I even feel like this personally, like in watching videos, like in finding out, it's like social media, 15 years ago, there was a social media expert on every corner.
Oh yeah. And then it took us a while.
And so I'm in the point of like, if I'm going to put somebody in front of the members, I want to know that I know that I know that they really know what they're talking about and they get it. They have the vision for the long-term future. And so that's where our theory is kind of crock pot, not microwave. Because we could probably have.
I like it.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that is definitely on the board. So
That's very exciting. So, President, what are you thinking?
This was that. Yeah, you were talking.
I forgot.
The biggest initiative you think is your goal for this year?
So a couple things. Number one, like the whole reason I'm in this position with the association, not the entire reason, but a major reason was, as you both know, like my eyes being open to the global opportunities that exist in real estate and business. And we have a very, very active and engaged group of members in our global committee and global council, as well as our commercial council. So my objective is that across the board, we continue to do those three things: add value, influence, and innovate in every area that we can. And the kind of the measure that I've given staff, or that our leadership team, I think, has consensus on, is that we've got to always be doing two of those three things. It's preferred and ideal if we're doing all three at the same time. But in everything that we do, and I'm talking something as simple as like having a team meeting, like, okay, is our objective, and are we looking this through the lens of add value on one eye and innovate on another? And then the picture begins to get a lot more clear, not only for the association as a business, as a corporation, but also for the members that come through the door. And one of the things that I'm working on is identifying and developing new leaders, as well as understanding. The global report just came out from OEP, like within the last 45 days or so, showing just how much Central Florida is growing as a global community.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like,
we are a destination.
Yeah. And it's like I say, there's a whole world of money out there. It's so easy for us as real estate professionals to get caught up in our 328 whatever, 321 whatever.
Right.
There's a whole bunch. There's countries that don't even have zip codes. They don't even have postcodes.
Right.
And they don't have a 32 anything. Yeah, it's
know who lives.
Yeah, a street name in this district.
Down.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Similar to that.
Totally. Totally. But I think helping, if I can, I didn't just have my eyes open by the association just because. There was somebody who came along, and multiple people who came along and extended an invitation to me, and that helps me over the course of time see there's a world of money out there. There's a world of opportunity out there. Right now, it's estimated in the financial center in the Emirates that there's about $1 trillion worth of capital that's looking to come to the U.S.
Right.
And that capital may be in other countries, but it's managed or directed from the Dubai region.
Right.
It's a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
For our members, for you guys to JV with developers. Like there's endless opportunity beyond just the real estate that already exists.
Right.
The improved real estate that exists, and trading that. Like there's opportunity for whole businesses to be created. Crazy enough, I was in London earlier this year, and I was talking to a woman who is from the UK, from like, I want to say north of London. Her husband owns a business in the northeast of the U.S., like up by, we'll say, Massachusetts, Vermont area. Has like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, he just, he'll commute, whatever. So he just goes back and forth. And, but because of various, both like environmental things as well as economic environment, they have their eyes set on Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they would have never known about the Orlando Economic Partnership. They would have never known about all the manufacturing that's happening outside of like the core of Orlando.
Oh, right.
All the development that's taking place all around Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Had I not sat down and had that conversation, like, let me tell you, you've got to get plugged in with OEP. They will help you move your relocate your business here. And that's like, I feel like our job, not just as an association, but as realtors generally, is to be ambassadors for our community.
Oh, yeah.
To
Absolutely.
To the world.
Absolutely.
And not just to the next zip code over or to New York or the low hanging fruit, like where everybody's moving to Florida from.
Right.
So like, I mean, that business could potentially create like 150 jobs here in Central Florida.
I travel a lot and always I travel a lot and I always tell people when I'm telling them I'm from Orlando, they're like, oh yeah, Disney World. I'm like, oh, it's so much more.
Yes.
And I always love having conversations with folks about like, if that's all you've seen of Orlando, you've really missed out. And when I start talking about my experience of living here over 30 years, they're like, well, I got to come back. I want to go to where you talked about. I want to go to Winter Park. I want to go to downtown. I want to go to, because I'm like, you've never seen these places. You've gone to your resort. You've seen yes, and it's beautiful and it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm like, we live in a real, living, vibrant community. We all don't go to Disney every day.
Yeah.
And
like 3 degrees of separation.
And it's like there's so many wonderful opportunities in this town. And it's like we have more innovation than you'd ever think. I start talking about the research park and all the innovations we have in the military, and they're going, never knew that.
Yeah.
And so, like I said,
with a bunch of screaming kids.
Yeah, like I said, our job, like you said, is to be advocates and ambassadors for our market.
Yeah.
And our quality of life here, I sincerely believe this with all my heart.
It's
like
awesome.
Being a kid from New Smyrna Beach, relative to what we pay, even with all the insurance, all this, all that, our quality of life relative to what we pay in Central Florida is world class.
It's tremendous.
Miami is beautiful. I love Miami. My people in Miami enjoy a good quality of life, but it is like 2 to 3 times more expensive than a similar quality of life. Actually, in some ways better in Central Florida. And that's one of the stories that I love to tell. Is like, hey, what are you looking for? Because if you're looking for quality of life, like in Disney, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half from your door, and all those fun things that Orlando is like well known for, like Central Florida is it. That we are. I'm 10 minutes from the beach.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah,
I love it.
That's amazing. Well, and I'm like 45, so that's still not bad.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. So we talked about building and all, it sounds like multifamily, all that kind of, a lot of money you're talking with to buy all that kind of stuff. Where do you see, we do infill with builders. That's our primary focus, is to keep everybody in the core. And these houses are neglected, functionally obsolescent, different issues, insurance. So we tear down, rebuild. Not always, but that's a lot of what we're doing. How do you see that going with the builders on the outskirts? You talk about business coming in, the global economics of that, and the high rises. What do you see about the builders, not just outside, but influenced on the interior?
I think everybody knows that there's a need for housing. So on the residential side, everybody understands like universally that there's a need for housing. There's a need for units. A lot of real estate in inner cities and like across the U.S. from Seattle to Orlando all need kind of that infill support and that those gaps to be filled. I think that's kind of universally understood by capital across the country and across the world. What I think the misunderstanding comes is where once you make those improvements, the demand on the commercial side. And I think that's the part that people are trying to sort out is, there's a big push in Orlando right now for these 15-minute cities. Well, understanding that and how that will fit in, not today, but 5-10 years from now into a spreadsheet of the fund manager making a decision about where they're going to JV and how they're going to deploy their capital. That's a big deal. Like take data centers and all the other mega projects and giga projects out of the equation. Those like more regionalized projects and those more regionalized or boutique assets I think are a little bit of a challenge in some instances. But I think instinctively, the capital and money managers around the world largely know like there's a need for it, and there's money to be made in that environment.
How long do you think it'll be before we see the impact of the new housing bill that was just recently passed by Congress? It's supposed to streamline some regulations, maybe allow for some more density, because there are some times when I do feel kind of bad putting one great big single family house on a lot that's an R2 or an R3. And I'm like, I could have put maybe 3 more modest residences and, and provided some more units. But the city obviously is already very, very amenable to ADUs and even have some grants right now to encourage that. But do you see more developers maybe getting into smaller, more basic housing? Like there's this guy I follow in Atlanta, and I'm just obsessed with what he does. He builds 400 to 900 square foot homes, puts between 20 and 30 of them basically around a big garden, and literally has a waiting list, sells them in like no time at all, because there's people like, I don't need that much square footage, but I want to own a home. This is the only way I'm ever going to own a home. Do you see that kind of development coming to Orlando? Are we at that urban density that Atlanta or Miami or something is, that where the powers that be will be open to a higher density, smaller home?
Totally. They're going to have to be.
I think they have to be. I don't think it's a matter of if, it's when.
Yeah, no doubt. I see that. And I also see like this generational shift where as like, I think my parents and certainly my grandparents, it was like, a status symbol to have, and to step up,
right,
and have a big, beautiful house,
right,
and everything like that. I think values have been reallocated to where there's a simplification that the next generation really wants something small and simple so that they have resources to go and see the world, or to travel the country, whatever the case may be. So I do think that like largely the cities are going to be supportive of it. That obviously the supply and demand is going to drive it. But I know for a fact, like here in Central Florida, we have a group that's printing small homes, fabricated homes that can be like printed in a very short time. And so I think we're going to see more of that, and that's only going to get, the quality of that construction is only going to get better, and also the acceptance of the market is only going to be broader as time goes on. As far as the housing bill, Kim, to answer your specific question with regard to that, there's no silver bullet, particularly when you have Republicans and Democrats involved, but there is. I think an opportunity for improvement. And I'm somebody who, just like one of my core values with the association, something that I talk to staff about is progress being more important than perfection. And I think this housing bill has a lot of good in it that we'll see. And I think we'll really start to feel it. It'll creep up on us, so we won't feel it as quick within the next 3 to 5 years. I think we'll really start to feel it and see on a national scale the positive impacts. Now, on a transaction level, you could ostensibly feel it like next week.
But it has to be a multi-pronged approach, because you have to, number one, incentivize builders to do it. They're like, wait, if I'm building this big single family home and I've got this awesome number of dollars I'm putting in my pocket after I finish everything, if I do it right, it's like, hey, you have to incentivize them to where like you're going to make a little less. But, it's a combination of, like maybe low interest loans or, grants. I think that it has to be multi-pronged by the local and national governments, because the builders, they're not doing it for practice. They've got to make a living. They've got to feed their families too. So I think there has to be some kind of combination, and nobody wants to be the first one to do anything. They're like, this formula works for me, so I'm going to stick to this formula. We've got to give them some kind of incentive to say, give this a try. I know this is new. I know this is a little scary, but we're here as your partner, and we're going to make this work.
It's needed.
So needed. So needed.
And I think one of the things that we'll see from this bill, one of the things that I was thankful for is guardrails getting put on
Mhm.
private equity coming in and
Right.
sweeping up whole communities and
Right.
neighborhoods. Like
Right.
that can fundamentally shift
Oh,
the real estate
absolutely.
market really
Absolutely.
like super fast.
Mhm.
And so I was glad to see a bipartisan effort to kind of help
Right.
not completely restrict that or
Right.
put the hammer down on it,
Right.
but to put some sensible guardrails in place to
Mhm.
help protect the inventory that we have.
Yeah.
I think that is something
That was important. Mhm.
we'll be thankful for many years from
I
now.
think so too. Yeah.
Too many monopolies and prices going up.
Well, as to wrap up, what would the takeaway you'd want to be to say to all those agents out there that have never really got to know their association? What would be the first step to say, I'm going to find out about this?
Well, first you got to stop by. Like
There you go.
come by the
visible.
door. And I know people come for new member orientation.
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like come through the association, really make an effort to understand.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the questions that I ask pretty routinely. Somebody's like, well, I don't understand the association. They don't do anything for me. I was like,
yeah.
well, have you tried to get them to do anything for you?
Right.
Have you even asked like what
Right.
they do?
Uh-huh.
What could they do for you? Well, no, they haven't served it up on a silver.
Like I said, they're not going to knock on your door and
Yeah.
say, by the way, I have all these amazing benefits for
Yeah.
you. You know?
So I think get involved. The other thing is be committed. Like I right now beginning, actually this is kind of somewhat the start of it, this season that we're in, on a big push, going back to our earlier conversation, like global trade missions and global real estate changed my life in more ways than one. I mean, I'm talking even from like a better understanding of like biblical interpretation of things that have happened over the course of history, all the way through like the way I view business or understand how different cultures do business and everything in between. Like take real estate out of the equation.
Right.
It's like on a broad human basis.
Right.
It's what I would consider improved my quality of life.
Mhm.
So for our members, I tell you, like you have an invitation to come on a trade mission that the association does. Do it, but don't just do one. Don't just do two. Do three. Do four. Before you decide whether this is for you or not. It's kind of like
That's awesome.
I make the analogy of like a direct mail campaign.
Mhm.
Like when you're first getting into real estate and you're really getting into your marketing and everything like that, you're not going to do a direct mail campaign for 1 month.
Mm-mm.
You're going to be mentally committed to at least 6 to 12 months direct mail and marketing efforts as a strategy before you decide whether this is for me or not. Same thing with global engagement and global travel. Just because you don't go pick up a buyer on that first trip doesn't mean that there's not a buyer or a business
Right.
that, or even just an experience that can change your business trajectory. And so that's, I would say, number one, show up and show up consistently and be okay with maybe showing up a few times before you really fully understand. And I'm learning every day things about the association, things about just business in general. And then I would say get involved. Like once you've shown up, become involved, serve on a committee. If I've talked in public policy, RPAC is your thing. You've kind of felt this leaping inside of you when I was mentioning deregulation of ADUs and stuff like that. Like come get involved with government affairs or engage with our government affairs team. Be a part and show up to the extent that your time will allow. And I promise everybody, if you show up and you get involved in this association, it will give you so much more personally and professionally than you could have ever imagined. So that's my
Get your money's worth for sure.
Yeah.
Well, leading towards becoming a professional and running a business versus being self-employed. It's a conversation we keep having. I really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Trying to get this information out to all of our fellows.
Yeah.
Of all the opportunity they have, because we were shocked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
It was an eye-opener when we came and took the tour. And it's like, why aren't we using it?
Come back.
And by the way, we haven't been back.
Yeah, come on back.
I mean, now we need to talk to our
It's right down the street.
I know.
Gotta
It's
go back.
very close by.
And getting involved, like you said. And I think that learning about those opportunities, because just getting involved alone helps you build relationships and teaches you so much.
Totally.
You learn a ton by other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
So depending on which community you're on.
Yeah. Or depending on like just experience, right?
Yeah.
That's really the culture that I'm trying to create at the association, is one that is there. If you're in leadership, part of your job is to identify your replacement
Right.
and to be there for them and cheer them on when they're better at that than you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's
always the best.
you know, like we get so, I think, vain sometimes in real estate where you're like, well, they can't be any better than me. And I'm like, man, I hope next year, I hope Deidre is like a more effective, just superstar president, because that means like I would have done something right.
You laid the path.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, let's just keep getting better and let's have that progress.
It's not done in 1 year.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I can teach.
But you have brought so much
Continuity.
You've brought so much, like, I think, enthusiasm and visibility to the organization. I mean, I've been a member for
being the youngest.
I've been a member for over 3 decades, and I've probably dug in, read more articles, read more the news flashes. I used to just like, I've read this, I've read this. And I'm like, I didn't really read that. I kind of lied on that checkbox. Maybe I should read this. And I look at it and go, wow, that's good info. I didn't know that. So just being more aware of what's offered has been tremendous.
A value.
And it's absolutely a great value. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, to your point, you got to digest it. It's super easy to swipe it out or to just overlook it, open it and forget it.
And do something else.
I did not know about the negotiating class, and I'm going to look into that immediately. As long as I've been negotiating, I still could learn more.
We can always learn. Can always be better.
RENE and ABR, I think, are 2 of the best NAR classes out there. They're both really, really good. And I'm a heavy critic of classes, and because in teaching generally, especially anytime it's regulated, people can get so rigid and be left behind. But those 2 classes have timeless wisdom in them. And they lay a really good foundation. So yeah, go do it. It's never too late.
Never
too late. I'll see you in an RENE class soon.
Right. Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us, Chris. This is the end of our next episode. We can't wait to see you to the next.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks for joining us on Dirt Secrets. I'm Amanda.
I'm Kim.
Chris Atwell.
President ORRA. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That's another episode of Dirt Secrets, where we uncover the real stories and strategies behind building and buying in Central Florida.
If you're a builder ready to make your mark with a custom urban infill project, a buyer looking for the perfect home, or someone relocating here for a fresh start, we're here to guide you from blueprint to closing.
Make sure to follow the show on your favorite podcast app so you'd never miss a single secret and to stay ahead of the market.
You can find us at buildersconciergegroup.com or on Instagram and Facebook at Builders Concierge Group, where we share listings, behind-the-scene tours, and sneak peeks of what's coming next.
We'd love to hear from you. Send your questions, your dream home wish list, or your own dirt secret, and we might feature it in a future episode.
Remember, whether you're breaking ground, buying your first home, or finding your Florida forever home,
the right property isn't just built, it's crafted with the right team, the right strategy, and the right connections.
You've been listening to Dirt Secrets, and we'll see you on the next episode.